right, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Insecure audio commentary series here on the Polaris Network. I'm one of the co-founders, Bree Mei-Li. I'm an actress out here in Los Angeles who is a huge fan of Issa Rae and all her endeavors. And we're going to get right into this episode, Faulty OK. It gave me everything I needed. But before we do that, I want to introduce my lovely co-hosts. Let's start with you, Ashley M.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley M.
And hey, it's Ashley R of Body Art Noir.
Hi everybody, it's Yakira.
Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me again this week. I actually really loved this episode, and I thought I loved episode 3. I loved episode 4, and at first I was like, I don't know what episode 4 is going to look like. But I love that it was just exactly a week after the Nathan situation, because I definitely wanted to see what was going on in Issa's head, and more so Nathan, more than anything, because I never really got to understand the male psychology like that when it comes to like men and how they like women and how they interact in that way. So I really appreciated this episode for that reason. So let's just go ahead and start it off from the beginning. So they were at a beach. What was it, like a party that Nathan was throwing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Or his
loved
barbershop, right?
Oh, that's what it was, because I didn't hear what it was for. I thought it was just a random party. But I loved Issa's hair. I loved it so much. I just wanted to say that on the air. But the whole the part that really stuck out was the car ride with Nathan, and how he was really for the first time he was expressing how he felt about the whole situation. And I didn't expect that, because I thought we were always going to see Issa's perspective. And when he went into it and he actually liked her, which I guess I kind of like figured out, but we never knew why he left. So when he said that, I was like, oh, wow, he really is feeling her. But I guess you could, like last season, he kind of like hinted at that, and Issa kept on friend zoning him. So I understood completely. But that whole exchange, but yeah, so I'll let y'all speak before I go into the next part. But what are your general thoughts about this episode?
Well, general thoughts. Well, think I would like to go back to the fact that like we're opening up at the beach. Everybody looks to be having a good time around. Obviously, whenever you're throwing a punch and you're trying to focus on obviously being a host and making sure everything's moving forward, so on and so forth. But I just love the vibes. Like everybody looks so good. That's one thing I wanted to say. Like Kelly looked amazing. Molly and Issa. I just love how they just got their style just beautiful, and walking up looking like sunshine. And I think Issa, in true Issa fashion, Issa's it up as per usual. Like, I'm gonna go speak to Nathan, and then this flood of words, like
hella awkward.
It was great. So awkward. The weather comment was like, oh, it's 74. Oh no, it feels like 81.
It feels like 81.
I was like, oh my gosh, that would be something I would do.
Right? Trying to make that small talk and just being like, oh, that's not your strong suit, girl. You know it's not it.
And then she kept going and just going.
Oh shoot, that was like, Issa, please. But when you're like on a roll, it's like you just can't stop.
Right.
Because it feels worse if you stop at that moment, because you have to deal with the awkwardness. So you just keep speaking.
You're making it worse.
Yes. Oh man. And that Risha girl, I thought I would be annoyed by her, but I actually really liked her character. She reminded me of Kyla Pratt, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, at first I thought that was her when she was walking in. I was like, wait,
that's what I thought. I meant to pull up like the cast list to see who that actress was, but I really got Kyla Pratt vibes.
But then you remember she was already on the show, and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't work.
That's exactly. I'm like, wait, this can't be her then. But wait, can we speak about like the car ride?
Oh, before we going. All right, before we get to car ride, we have to talk about.
Uh-oh.
When you see the blood. And like, what the heck? And then of course she runs through all of the conclusions.
Oh yeah. Now you're here. You're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, your audio is messing up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But oh no, I just love the whole way that they like film that, because again, you get this like tension, and then you're like, wait, is there something going on with the two of them? And then you go and you jump to those conclusions, and of course they had it all like half sexual, and I'm like, okay,
Oh my God.
Nathan, hand on the
Oh my
shoulder, yes.
gosh. Yeah, no, that scene was everything, because it's like your mind goes, especially when you like someone but you haven't really told them and you see them with someone else. Oh my goodness, that's the worst feeling, because you're like, your mind just takes over. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
She did a full-blown
am
analysis on that.
mhm.
Are they?
And
Are
then
they not? Are they?
Are they?
mhm. That was, I loved how they filmed that and how they dramatized that whole, like, that moment in your mind.
Mhm.
But in the car ride, so Risha and Kelly started like connecting, because
I love that.
yes, because Kelly had this like moment of like being like not knowing herself, basically, after she found, like, she confronted like the death situation in the first episode. And then I guess Risha was like, there's this huge, I admit it, I'm kind of part of that community too, like this new age type thing, like the spiritual community that's going on right now, like facing your shadow, what's going on.
Shadow work and
Yes,
whatnot.
exactly. So Risha looks like she was part of that community, like a heightened version of what that would be. And so they were having that whole conversation in the car and at the bar. And then with Issa and Molly going back and forth, the whole it was just so much going on in that one scene, because I was listening to Risha and Kelly mostly, and I had to focus on like what they were texting to each other. But
I kept getting distracted by Kelly and
yes,
I love it.
Kelly's just so effortlessly funny. I would love to see her like do a show. I did actually see Amanda Seales when she did that Young, Black, and Smart special. I did get to see that, but I would love to see Kelly or Natasha do her own stand-up special. But I was like, Molly's a real one. When
She really is.
Yes.
Listen, she came
She's
through
like,
with that. So y'all fucking or not?
no hesitation. No hesitation. Was like, are you messing with Nathan? Nah. All right. Thanks. That's my answer.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Yes. But I wanted to give kudos to Molly for that, because it's like when you're Issa, it's like, oh man, I don't know if I should ask or not. And then it was just like, let me get you the answer right now.
Right. I love she went into total best friend mode, and I think that's again, it's a testament to where Issa and Molly have recovered from their really wild season last year of being so separate, just to be like, oh, so let me just go ahead and check this out for you real quick, no questions asked, and she did it just out of, again, best friend mode. Let me see what's going on here.
Exactly, and that's what I'm like, that's friendship to me, honestly. Just like, you see, I don't know, just being that supportive person, especially when you're in emotional turmoil in a situation. But what happened after that? Hold on. What? Oh man, there's another.
The bar.
Oh, the bar. Oh, that whole scene with Nathan and his cousin coming in. Oh, before that, the Nathan and Issa's confrontation about like, okay, now they finally have this real moment, instead of like it being awkward and like, cookie cutter. They finally got into it. But they still were holding back. Well, I think Nathan more so was holding back than Issa. Yeah. So I'm glad that Issa was, I really admired Issa's loyalty in this episode. Like, she was really like, I'm in your corner. And that goes into like the table part with with his family and stuff.
Yeah, the cousin's wife was kind of throwing some shots.
I was like, what is your problem, girl?
At first, I thought, was there something between him and her?
Same.
Like,
That's what I thought.
Same.
The way she
the
was
first,
throwing shots at him.
yeah.
The leaf shot was funny though, like blowing like a leaf or light skin leaf. I was laughing.
No, yeah, Issa saved the day with that tree one. I was like, okay. And she got me a little bit more. She gave. Well, no, I always respected Issa's character, even though she like had her fallouts. But even then, when she had her fallouts, I always like knew what it was about. Just maybe because we always knew it. Like the show follows her like inner workings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think she's always doing the best she can in every moment. Like it's not like any type of like I'm gonna manipulate you, I'm gonna do this to make you feel like this way, something like that. It was always coming from a good place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like with that, I love that they had that little intimate moment of connection because Nathan, I felt like Issa really holding him down is making Nathan come out of his shell more, and I love seeing that, especially because he was always ghosting, and it's like,
Always.
have y'all ever had like people in your life that just ghosted you out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Girl, have
Yes.
you dated in LA?
Oh, no.
Yes. I was like, is
Girl,
this your question?
He was good.
Yes.
He just literally told me he loved me, and then it was like, wait, hello? Is this
Wait,
thing
what?
on?
What? Really?
What?
Oh my gosh. That
No, I mean,
yeah.
it hasn't been that serious, but you know, you'd be like, that was a great date. I want to see you again. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And then
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
start
wait,
questioning yourself.
listen. Be like, you know what? I'm happy now. Like, is it me?
Is it me?
Oh my gosh, I think I had a really great conversation with a guy, and he left it. He was like, okay, you got to check out that, was it a Trey Songz documentary? Some documentary about a music artist. I'm like, okay, cool. I have not heard back from him. I was like, because we were texting consistently for like 3 weeks. And he just never hit me up. But I think he was married on the low.
Oh, man.
No, but yeah, that whole ghosting stuff really just be messing with your, like, it has the potential to mess with your self-esteem.
Oh, it does.
Because then it's like, oh, was it me? And you never
Yeah.
get your answer, so you're just sitting there. So the fact that Nathan is like coming back and really like showing up, I think that shows how much he likes Issa right there.
Side note, have you guys ever been ghosted and then the person that ghosted you like texted you back and forgot they ghosted you? Because that happened to me.
Wait, what?
No,
Yeah.
how does that
Work.
It was like
Yeah.
a long time ago. It was a guy I was talking to, and like I think we were supposed to like meet up again, and then we never heard. Like I remember we were supposed to meet at a movie theater. He never came to the theater, and so he completely ghosted me.
Oh,
a year,
so
like
he
I feel like
stood
a
you
year.
up.
Yeah, like we already went out though, so I was like, why would you do that? Like, why did you even do the whole like? I'll get you know. We already made like the idea like, oh, you're gonna bring snacks, we're gonna meet here. It was like a whole thing. We were texting all the way to the point where I got there, and then he ghosted.
See,
And
I don't even I don't think
wow.
that behavior is excusable
right,
at all.
but then later he and I deleted it, like his number, I think, or and I don't know if I blocked it right, but I just got rid of it. And then I got a call or text like way later, and I'm like, who's this? And then the guy was talking to me, and he's like, and then I was just he mentions going out on a date, and he mentions the same theater, and I remember because it was on the west side of town, and my friends know that the specific time or area I hate to go to. Like I always tell them, hey, I'm going to this side of town in case I get killed, just because it's like a joke. I just don't like that part of the town. And so when he said that, I was like, wait a minute. Oh my God. And I was like, I
all the memories.
I just don't, I remember you, and this is a hell no. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you already asked me to go to this theater with you, and you didn't show up. So let's just end this now. And then I think he tried to play like, look, you must be tripping. And I was like, nope, nobody ever.
Oh wow!
And it was a drive-in, by the way, so it wasn't like a specific. It was a drive-in theater, so like nobody goes to drive-in. Well, now people do, but this is before COVID.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, this is your thing. I'm good. Goodbye. And I was just like, I can't believe he forgot. Like he ghosted me.
Oh, so that means that must be consistent behavior with him then.
Oh yeah,
if he forgot.
Right. And so that I did not need that in my life. I was like, yeah. Now you're blocked.
Yeah, you did.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I'm glad you confronted him in that because he needs to know.
Yeah, a year later, still have that energy somewhere in my
Did it feel good to get that off on him?
Yeah, but even though that was kind of, I got a little mad that the fact that he couldn't admit to it. He was still like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And I'm like, whatever. We both know what you did. Like, this is like, whatever. But I'm glad that I confronted him, and I'm sure on the other side of the phone he was like, what the heck?
Right. Man, when people don't take accountability, that's another pet peeve.
Right.
Like they try to test your intelligence right there.
Right.
That part.
But yeah, so we found out that Nathan really didn't ghost Issa. He was just like had that diagnosis that he only shared with her, and he didn't even tell his family. So that moment with the cousin, like Insecure really does like really tear you in two different places, because like when he was talking out, when he first said that, I'm like, he really is like messed up. Like, why would your family do that? But then when he started explaining a little bit more about he has kids, you were leaving the door unlocked, like you were, I was like, oh man, like if I was in his shoes, I would be the same way a little bit.
I don't know. I feel like I understand what the cousin was coming from, but I mean, that's your brother. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like he had to lie about it. I feel like that shows that they might not be close. To lie and say it was the wife.
The wife. That was crazy right there.
That's weird.
Yeah. If the wife didn't act the way she did, I would probably understand the way she acted earlier. I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about how you handled it when he was there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think she was forcing it. Like, if it was never her idea and she was acting that crazy in the beginning, like, what are you even doing at this point if it wasn't your idea?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, are you just playing a part?
Obviously. I think too. Well, I think it can be hard because I mean, I think some people, I think it's just like being in awkward situations. I think his cousin didn't handle it well, and so it goes back to those memes. It's like, quiet man, why you date the loud women? He's like, because who gonna tell when my order's wrong? That's what I saw. I saw that right there for me. I was like, she saw, y'all ain't seen that meme. And it's like,
oh my gosh, you're so right.
She took one for the team, because that show, for me, portions of that shows that she was down for her man. Like, you know what? If problem, let it be me, and I'll be the one who takes the blame. So I saw that portion of it. But also like that part about grow up a little bit. But even if he had addressed Nathan at the time, he was manic. He literally, like, I was manic at the time. And so I don't even know if it would have hit anyway differently. Like the outcome may have been the same, but I think it's that realization that comes to Nathan at the end that's just like, man, that whole idea of like, I can't change somebody's mind. But there's a part of that also goes with, you're trying to show him you're doing better, which I think there's nothing wrong with that. But on some half of it, being able to talk about mental health, like, I know this is a journey and people don't go in and be like, hey, so here's all the medications I'm taking, so on and so forth. But being able to say, by the way, when I was there, this is what was going on. So I now understand why, because it was like kind of news to him. I felt like it was news to him that like, oh, well, you were leaving the door unlocked, you were coming in all the time. So being able to say, wow, that was real, and here's a portion of why this was going on. Because I definitely think you you're trying to do that without giving him any context either. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So you can't
yeah.
expect people to read your or to see that and be like, oh, you're so much better when they saw you up close and you haven't been
Right.
able to
Yeah.
kind of, again, that's a
Right.
place of growth, and it's probably going to take a while for him to share that, but I can see how your feelings could be hurt. You also have to be able to go back and be like, kind of, here's what was going on, the same way you
take
just did it with
accountability.
Issa.
Yeah, take accountability of your past actions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that were down for you during that time didn't know. They were just, taking you for face value.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then what happened in this, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, finish. You could go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say that it didn't help either that they were gonna go see him at the beach, and then they had to move to a different location, and then they had he called, oh my bad, like we moved to a different location, and
shoot.
and then the whole Jason Derulo party, like, oh, we're gonna go to this party, but then really they don't go in, and so I think that's why the cousin was leaving too. He's just like, oh, it's still the same thing where it's just so yeah.
You catch all these small details, Ashley, that I don't even be catching.
That's the thing I do. That's the thing I do. Yes.
Oh wow, yeah, you're so right. Because that could be seem flighty, and then it's like, oh no, the situation actually was this. Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so really, it's just like Nathan, and it's like, I can't even imagine like having to like deal with all your past actions without realizing what was going on in that first place. But I definitely think like him and Issa are really, I think Issa's gonna be like what he needs in order to like progress and really like, well, outside of like having a therapist that helps him too, but having that force with him. And I actually like Issa and Nathan together. At first I was like, I don't know, but I genuinely, because the whole ghosting thing. But I genuinely like this relationship a lot. And I love the fact that he walked away. I was like, Issa, please go after him. And she did. And I love that.
Yes.
Yes. But that I loved it. It was a really nice episode to me.
Yeah. I was a little surprised. I wasn't expecting Nathan. Like, I really didn't expect. I don't know why I didn't expect it. I think I'm so curious to see if anything's gonna pop off with Lawrence. That's like really, my mind is so singularly focused on that that I was like, oh,
yes, because I was like that like last season, the episode where Lawrence and Issa connected, that was everything my heart needed. Like, that was such a beautiful episode. Just to see them connecting after all this growth, and then all of a sudden it was just like, torn apart after the baby. So I never thought like I would actually, see someone for Issa outside of Lawrence. Because I wasn't a big fan of Daniel. to be honest.
I wasn't a fan of Daniel, not at all. But I mean, and I think back to like the chemistry that Nathan and Issa had, like Coachella, like everything about that. Like, I love that. I love the walking around the neighborhood, the hopping in the pool. Like, there were so many good spaces with Nathan. I think it does get kind of pushed to the back when, of course, you take into consideration the ghosting situation, and then, Lawrence coming back to the forefront, and then, so like I said, I wasn't expecting it. It was a pleasant surprise for me. Shout out to them for bringing that here so I can see how I feel about it. Unlike you guys who were like, go after him. I was like, go in a party, girl. Have fun.
I thought I was saying the same thing. I was like, go in that party and see Jason Derulo.
Oh. But you have to remember, Nathan was the one that was, when she was talking about a block party, he was the one that was down for her on that, and everybody else just laughed at it.
You are not wrong.
That is true.
So that's probably like that loyalty. I think loyalty is just like an innate thing in Issa, so she's always gonna run towards the loyal.
She's very loyal. One thing, really loyal. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of made sense for her to like, go for Nathan. But let me just say that Jason Derulo thing was just so random. I'm like, I watch his stuff on social media and I'm like, I be cringing watching it. I know he got money. I'm not knocking him. I'm like, you better get his money, but I'm like, he just, I don't know. I like whenever I hear his stuff on the radio, I'm like, click.
Dang, boy, Jason. I do the same though, low-key.
I cannot stand that trumpet song.
Oh,
When that was
song?
always on the radio. I was like,
Yeah,
this is they did.
Oh my god, I love the character, the side character that was so excited about Jason. He was doing close-up magic, and the dude was gone. He was like, "Say less, fam. Say less."
He's like, I gotta take one person. That dude was like, "I'm taking me, right?"
And he took Molly. I'm so glad Molly's like in the date, like she's just like she seems so much chill in this, like she's not upstrung with dating, and I love this for her as well.
She's like they're neck and neck. In
that moment,
everything.
And she was like, he's worried about the wrong cat. Next. I was like, I'll go with you. I was like, yes, Molly.
Yes, Molly.
Oh, goodness. You made me laugh, a hearty laugh from my soul. Is, because I'm loving her haircut. I love this shortcut. When I went natural, I did the same thing. I was like, all my hair was gone. And at first I was like, I don't know how people are going to see. I don't know if guys will be attracted. But guys really love this short hair on girls. When the guy was talking about like cutting her up and lining it up and snapping her on the neck, I said, you know what? What? That stuff is real. I was like, I in real life had grown men like palm my head, and I'm like, sir, I don't know you. What? Okay, thing.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Listen, I did not know either, but I love the fact that they threw that in, and he was like, I can't wait to get her in my chair. I'm gonna line her up, give her a little part. I'm like, ooh, you nasty. I see what you doing.
He started smacking her neck. I was like, what the world?
Yeah, lifting my hand. Oh man. This episode, this conversation was wonderful. I'm excited to see next week because it looks like they're gonna add like the drama element to this next. Did you guys see like the little preview? So
yeah,
it looks like someone passed or is like very in grave condition. So it might be like not as honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to expect with this episode. I mean, this season, because I mean, I've already went through a roller coaster already, and it's not even halfway point yet. So I'm excited for that. Do you guys have any final thoughts about anything, like predictions or what you want to see happen before the last episode? Or are you just riding the wave?
I am riding the wave personally, but I do love 2 points in this episode. Like they took it back to the earthquake at the very end when they kissed. I was just like, oh, because he's like, you feel that? And my brain, y'all don't know me like that, but
I know what you're talking about.
Like,
I did too.
I was like, okay.
I did too.
I was watching one boo. He was like, it was an earthquake. I was like, oh, my bad.
I love that. Cute. Yeah.
Make connection in the world. Maybe they're letting us know that's what it is.
Okay, there we go. Kind of lost you with the ending, Ashley.
It's fine. It's being a hater.
All right.
You're trying to hold me back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna let that be. I just love that part. I love that they took it back to the earthquake. They had 2 moments of like, oh snap. I liked it.
Yes, and the whole the cinematography of this episode, always every single episode, but the lighting and the ending of when they like raised the camera, you just saw LA. It just looks so pretty. I always
forgot to talk about the Twitter thing. Her Twitter.
Oh yes,
spicy. I was like, what's going on?
Oh, that's gonna be something coming up. That's
right.
Big.
I don't know how I feel about that, y'all.
I didn't like that at all.
I felt like Issa should have known. Like, I felt like you can't be, because Krayshawn already looks like the person who would like screenshot and post something. So I'm like, I don't know why Issa I'm like, as soon as Issa sent that DM, I'm like, I already knew he was gonna post it. And like after you didn't think that?
I didn't know.
I
like,
agree.
I thought it was a tweet. Clueless. I thought originally. I didn't know that was a DM until they showed it.
Well, it looked like she texted him. That's what
she text
either way
him,
it goes. I think she texted him directly. Like that's what I got from it. But either way it goes, like no receipts. Like if you really wanted to, because I feel like at some point I would have just called him. Like, hey, like what's up? Because I am perplexed that they never. And then maybe this is one of Issa's places of growth, where she never followed up. Like obviously the show was a success, so at some point I feel like I would have been like, hey, my bad, like it feels like they just did not have a conversation. Like literally, and the last time that they spoke was before the show. He gave her the look and that was it. And that feels odd to me, because I feel like you probably still have money to transact, so you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like there's the backside of business that didn't get taken care of, and now now it's going to be messy. But
I think it's just business though. I feel like I think it's also like personal, because it went a success, but like I feel like he really feels like a way, you know what I'm saying, about the whole fraud thing. And I think she could have came to him after the show, and I don't know if she did or they just didn't show, I don't know, come after the show and apologize, kind of like you said. Like it's like she didn't say anything about it. It was just like it was a success, and they're supposed to just let it go. Like I don't know.
That seems like a theme. Like I feel like Issa, she really doesn't speak about what she doesn't confront the situation head on. Yeah. And it's, I think communication has been like a thing with her throughout like this whole series.
Agree.
But we see like, but when she does, it does always helps. It works out in her favor for the most part. But like the more she doesn't say anything or like suppresses what she says, it grows into something that it doesn't need to be in.
Agree.
I noticed that with just recent, I guess with Nathan in a way, and with Krayshawn recently, Lawrence, shoot. So that's interesting. I when you started saying that, I was like, oh, I started connecting the dots. She really does have like this thing with communication. But I mean, I guess you're not aware of it till like the situation starts growing. It's like, dang, because you kind of think it'll just go.
Yeah, but I do think that that's indicative of business ownership, period, though. Like, because you're trying to navigate things that are not familiar with you. The idea of putting together this business and you feel great, and then the first time somebody comes at you for something or another, it could be something you actually did or something perceived value that you did, then just trying to be able to kind of like back out of it. But again, I also feel like just girl, talk to the man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like all
she doesn't have any
do that, and then we wouldn't have to be here. We wouldn't have to be having this beef. And if there was beef, you could have already been like, listen, I talked to old boy, and if he feels this way, he feels this way, because right now I just don't think we know how we don't know what the feeling is except for contempt.
Right, because you don't want like that one person trying to like tarnish your brand name that you worked so hard for. And honestly, she didn't have any loyalty to him either. Like he's just someone that she tried to put on, and it just kind of like, oh. So I don't think she should have, like, her not speaking put her in a position she didn't need to be on. So I'm hoping this whole situation does not mess up the block or anything, because cancel culture is real out here.
I think she's gonna be fine. But on the bringing it back, I'm so sorry, to her assistant talking about she gonna make him go. Like she was like, listen, I'm leaking over here. I was like, I can't bring her back.
I love that for her. You need someone to match her loyalty.
Yes. He was born in the suburbs. I can't remember where she said.
The
valley. The valley.
Yes.
I was like, yes. Go ahead.
I was like, she already had that for her. Yes.
Go ahead.
And she sent that double text. If it don't blow over, I got you. I was like, yes, girl.
And I believe her. Her.
With the bloody nose and all, we believe her.
Oh man. But yeah, thank you ladies so much. This has been a great discussion. If you guys are listening on YouTube, wherever you are listening to this on, thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and write in the comments if you what did y'all feel about the episode, what you're excited to see. If you ship Issa and Nathan. But catch us back here on Sundays. And we'll see y'all next week. Thank you, ladies.